Okay, so good afternoon everyone. In this video, I will discuss primarily muna the basics muna of investment. I know we have talked about this now that which I shall give to you the basics, then I'll proceed directly to auditing, but I think I need to explain first this thing, now the kaning material, especially this first part because even so that when I go to the yung mga complications or yung mga main problems or yung auditing like problems ng investment, ma-stress kayo. Okay, so this one, I explain this one because this is very important. This is a foundation ng ating investment and I cannot skip this one. So we'll talk about this table. This table is a summary of your investment chapter. So investment chapter nito sa balik sa libro, it is summarized in this. So later po, as I explain this one, we will also cater also some illustration para mas masabtan ninyo siya. But I will just discuss on the basics of the illustration. Then again, as mentioned sa meeting na to, it's up to you on how you're going to practice your financial accounting. Okay. Sige, so let me see kung naka-recording na whether we're recording and I'm presenting as well. So I hope I'm presenting on your end. So let's start. So, welcome in our substantive testing for investment. We will not yet start with the theories of investment muna. We will start first with our tawag nito, basis mo tayo ng financial accounting. Okay, we need to establish our technical know on investment. Especially that based on my experience, investment is one of those topics which the student really despise the most. No, not only the most, pero medyo they have this what we call confusions with regards to investments natin. Okay, so we'll start. So, substantive test investment. Actually, we have four types of investment. So, let me have this one in my ano. We have four types of, I hope we are presenting on your end. Okay? We have four types of, let me see kung presenting ba ko ba sino ka, no? Lisod na tayo. We have four types of investment. We have four types of investment. We have in first in is investment in equity securities, meaning you have securities, you have investments on the shares of the others. We also have investment in debt securities. It means you have invested not to the bonds of another company. We also have this what we call investments in property. Investment property, if you have noted in your chapter book, investment property covered by PSA, covered by PAS 40. And we have funds and other investment, which includes our very own derivatives, So today, among these four types of investment, our focus would be investment in equity securities. That will be our number one focus natin. Okay, investment in equity securities. Okay, so let's jump here in the in this chapter in this material. So investment in equity securities or investment in shares. I hope that's far more clear sa tuwa. So we have three types no of investment and equity securities. Titinan mo siya if there's control, no if a control exists. And second, if it exists any significant influence. And yung mga investment in shares which has no control nor significant influence. So for a control to be to for a control to exist, you must have more than 50% equity in the voting shares. But remember, the voting shares is only ordinary shares. Meaning, if you have more than 50% of the voting shares, ordinary shares, it means that you have control over the company, and that is your accounting 8B, investment in subsidiary. If your ownership naman is 20 to 50% of the ordinary share, of the voting share, the ordinary share, it is investment now in associate, which is your equity method covered by your past 28, which we'll tackle on in this week, in one of these days. No, so those other investment which not belong to control and which not belong to significant influence falls under this one. No control nor significant influence. Okay? Now, remember this one. So, if you've noticed dito, yung ating titinan natin pag may control at significant influence is just the voting shares or the ordinary shares. So, meaning, sir, does it mean, sir, na masking 100% ang among ownership sa preference shares, wala kaming control at walang significant influence? Yes, kasi ang preference share dito siya papunta, no control nor significant influence. Okay, so I hope that's clear sa to ano that again, what the control and significant influence exists if you have more than 50 of ordinary share or 20 to 50% of the ordinary share. Preference share is automatically goes in this classification. No control nor significant influence. Okay? So, yun. So, I hope that that's clear. So, under investment in equity securities which has no control nor significant influence, this is covered by your PFRS number 9. Okay? Kaning letter A nimo is covered by your PFRS 3 on business combinations. Your letter B nimo is covered by PAS 28, investment in associate. And this letter C is covered now by your PFRS 9 which was effective by 2018. So if your books there, if ang libro ninyo diha is 2012, ang libro niyo sa financial accounting, I believe, is 2012 pababa. So that only means that it's already obsolete. No, I don't think that 2012 is following PFRS 9. No, so far as I could remember, 2013 and up follows PFRS number 9. Okay, so nonetheless, so under this one, we have two. Your FAFBTPL. What was that, sir? Financial asset at fair value to profit or loss. FAFV. FAFVTPL. FAFBTPL. Financial asset, financial asset at fair value to profit or loss. Other term na is trading securities. Ang old term niya again is trading securities. Please take note, trading securities. The other naman is the FAFBT-OCI. FAFBT-OCI, the Financial Asset Fair Value 3 to OCI. Old term niya is AFS or available for sale. Again, the old term for FFBTPL FFBTOCI is AFS or available for sale. So why do I introduce the old terms? Because siguro in the board examination or even some of your pre-boards might include some words na trading securities, might include some words na available for sale. If you're not um protocolist. If you are not familiar with it, if you're not familiar with the terms, now with the old terms, there might be a great chance na mamali mo because you might get confused. So please remember the old terms. FFBTPL, trading securities, FFBTOCI, available for sale. So let's now proceed to the summary of the treatment. Just look at this. Wala na kayong ibang hanapin. Okay, nandito na lahat ng kailangan natin for our financial accounting natin or our technical know-how for our investment. So financial recognition for for FBTPL, so at fair value siya. And remember that transaction costs are expensed immediately. They are to be expensed immediately. Again na, pag naka-profit or loss, pag true profit or loss, fair value, but the transaction costs are expensed immediately. Pero pag naka-true OCI, fair value true OCI, fair value siya, but you need to add plus transaction cost. Okay? Yan ha. Pag true PL, transaction costs are expensed immediately. Pag true OCI, ang transaction cost is capitalized, meaning plus transaction cost. Okay, I hope that's clear, no? Please, bakit man anjog ko ano na pa. Okay, let's proceed to letter B. So, next na to. So, at share recognition at fair value. Depende nga siya ngayon. Kung PL, i-express ang transaction cost. Pag true OCI, i-capitalize ang transaction cost. Now, let's now proceed to the balance sheet valuation. So, what do you mean by balance sheet valuation? This is the subsequent measurement. How do we measure this investment at year-end? No, at December 31. So, very easy lang, no? Very easy lang talaga siya timan andyan. You need not to be stressed, no, in in memorizing the subsequent measurement. From the word itself, financial asset at fair value. Financial asset at fair value. So meaning ang kanyang subsequent measurement as is the fair market value or the market value at year end. Again na, in this investment, FAFBTPL, FAFBTOCI, FV, fair value. So ang kanyang subsequent measurement is fair value. So for investment to profit or loss, you compare the fair value at the balance sheet date versus the carrying amount, it will result to the unrealized gain or loss which will be presented in PL. Okay? So dito naman, FFBTOCI, you are going to compare the fair value the balance sheet date versus the carrying amount, then that will give you the unrealized gain or loss for the period or for the year na malalagay which will be presented in the OCI. So if you've noticed, no, very easy lang talaga. Very easy lang. Just need to get the fair value at year end. That is its subsequent measurement. To get the gain or loss, compare the fair value at year end versus the carrying amount. Kung fair value through PL siya, ang kanyang unrealized gain or loss papadulong sa PL. Very simple, no mental. Okay? If ang kanyang if ang kanyang if it is through OCI, compare pa rin the fair value and the carrying amount. Ang difference will go to unrealized gain or loss papunta sa OCI. Very simple, no? Very simple. But yet, many students would still get confused with this. Nanagani sa pangalan no OCI as ibot nang OCI sa OCI sa PL as ibot nang sa PL sa PL, 'di ba? No, for 3 years I still got I still encounter students no that still confused kung asa ibutang analyze gain or loss sa fair value to OCI, malamang sa OCI. Asa ibutang daw ang gain or loss sa fair value to PL. So syempre, sa PL jud dapat siya, 'di ba? Pero take note of this. Ito lang talaga ang cue niya dito. Ito lang talaga yung medyo siya, medyo a little bit of additional knowledge para sa atin maybe. Okay, OCI. OCI is presented no under shareholders equity. Remember this one. This OCI is presented not only sa statement of comprehensive income but also in your equity, on the equity portion. Kaya ang OCI natin is a balance sheet account. Balance sheet account. Kaya meron tayo ditong as of the period. Meron tayong tinatawag na cumulative unrealized gain or loss. Pag OCI, please remember this one. Sa PL po tayo, wala po tayong cumulative sa PL. What is the unrealized gain or loss for the period? That's it. For the next period, iba na naman and that's it. Wala tayong cumulative because alam po natin that profit or loss accounts are temporary accounts. They are to be closed every year end. Pero pag OCI is a balance sheet account. Meron kang gain or loss for the period, but since it is a balance sheet account, naapog kay as of the period or cumulative unrealized gain or loss. So how do we compute for the cumulative unrealized gain or loss? Very simple. Just compare the fair value year end versus the most original cost. It's original cost. Again, original cost. Okay, so let's practice. Let's practice. I have a sample problem here which ako na siyang gisolve ahead because I'm using my old laptop because my laptop is at the service center pa, no? It got it's not functioning na after I updated the Windows. I don't know what happened, so I sent it to the service center for them to fix it. No, it's still under the under warranty period. So I availed the service center. So I have solved it ahead because I'm expecting that this laptop it's been 7 years in my around 7 years. na sa akin. So I'm expecting na din na siya ang nakapaspas dyan, no? But so I solved it ahead. So let's assume these fair values. Let's assume this fair value. So at July 1, pagbili niya, it was purchased at 100,000. At December 31, 2019 year end, the fair value from 100 rose to 150,000. But after a year, it went down by 120,000. Okay, so let's journalize muna for 2019. Let's have 2019 muna. 2000, ano ba ito? 2019. So we have 2009, ano ba yun? 2019. Okay. So, pag-purchase natin for FBFB TPL, so debit FBFB TPL 100,000, credit cash 100,000. For FFB TOCI naman, same lang no, FFB TOCI, credit cash for both for 100,000. Okay, so I hope that's clear. Pagdating naman ng year end, di ba, we need to remeasure na dapat ang kanyang value must be at par with its fair value. So from 100 to 50 to 150, meron tayong difference na 50,000. So that will be an increase, di ba, in the value. So debit ka ng FFB TPL 50,000 and ang realized gain saan papunta? PL kasi FFB T PL siya. Kaya PL papunta ang kanyang realized gain 50,000. On the other hand naman, si OCI naman, FFBT OCI, unrealized gain OCI, 50,000. The same lang talaga. Okay? So, ito po ang ito po ang entries for the first year. Okay? So, the carrying up, so let's answer these questions we have below. So, for FFBTPL, our carrying amount at December 30, 2019 is 150,000. Okay? I think the same would happen with your FFBTOCI. Okay, both are at 150,000, which is the fair value at year end. Pila ang realized gain or loss in the profit or loss? Oo, unless the profit or loss, ayan, 50,000 po. This is 50,000. 50,000. Si OCI, wala siya. Ay, dili man siya, di ba, remember, the value, the less gain will not go to PL, will go to OCI. Kaya when we go to our second question natin, we go to our third question pala natin, unless gain or loss on OCI, dito siya magkaka 50,000. Si PL naman yung wala. Okay, na-gets ba? I hope nakuha ninyo, no? Because again, they are to be presented separately. Si FFBTPL, ang kanyang unrealized gain na papunta sa PL. Si FFBTOCI, ang kanyang gain or papunta sa OCI. Bike, nandiyo yung town ko. Now, for the cumulative gain or loss, for PL, wala tayong cumulative gain or loss. Because again, as mentioned kanina, FBTPL are closed every year and they're temporary account. But OCI is a balance sheet account and therefore meron siyang cumulative amount. Therefore, so far, 50,000 pa lang po na nga to ang cumulative. Okay? Because this is our only ano lang man. This is our only entry for our next yun OCI. So, itong for the year, yan ang kanyang cumulative. Okay? So, first entry pa man natin. Okay, so I hope that the first year, the 2019 was clear for everyone. Okay, so let's proceed to 2020. 2020 tayo. On 2020, from 150,000, the value went down to 120,000. So therefore, there was a decrease by 30,000. So if you'd notice, FFBTPL, debit tayo ng unrealized loss PL and credit tayo ng FFBTPL both for 30,000. Okay? But if you've noticed, FFBT OCI, dito nag-debit ng unrealized loss OCI. Nag-debit tayo ng unrealized gain. Kasi nga naman, sir, because now, again, natay cumulative gain or loss. We have a balance of 50,000 last year. So ngayon, since 50,000 balance last year, kaya lang siya i-cater ng unrealized gain. Kaya niya i-cater yung 30,000 na decrease. So therefore, decrease na tayo ng 30,000 for unrealized gain OCI and FFBT OCI for 30,000. Okay? So again na, cumulative, again, mabutang ni sa balance sheet, di mo pwede malibog diri friend. Di pwede malibog diri friend. Kaya magmalibog mo di, wala jud mo. Wala jud. Na? Pag na ay confusion, you ask me immediately. Okay? Again, huna ang PL, i-close, temporary account. Pag OCI, balance sheet account, na siya cumulative. Imagine, AR. AR is a balance sheet account. Do we close AR at year end? Dili. Mag-change ba? Back to zero ba ang balance sa AR at the beginning of the year? Hindi. Because therefore, the balance of the AR account is cumulative. Gika pa sa pinakasugod. That is why, the same ang process sa OCI natin. So kaya kung naay mga any decrease or increase, kung for example, in this case, nag-decrease, so ato sa siyang i-offset muna sa balance ng OCI. Nasa cumulative amount of gain or loss ng OCI before tayo mag-recognize ng loss. But in case, for example lang, ang decrease is not 30,000. What if this is really 90,000? If 90,000 talaga yan. If 90,000 talaga yan. So what will happen? FBFBT OCI from 150 to 90,000, magiging 60,000 to. 1,000, sorry. Ito, di ba 50 lang yung balance niya? So, debit ka ng 50,000. At is magkaka-analyze loss, OCI ka na for 10,000. Magets ba ko? So, as long as may balance ka pa ng cumulative gain or loss, absorb mo muna bago ka mag-loss. Okay? So, ako na siyang ibalik sa original niya na original 30. Kami i-copy na lang siguro para madali ko. 30,000. Okay, let's answer this. So, the carrying amount at December 31, 2020 is 120,000, always at fair value. 120,000. Unrealized gain or loss in 2020. So, we have loss na 30,000. Dito, ito sa high. Loss in PL dapat ni. Loss PL in 2000. Dito is 0 na naman again because this is OCI. Dito naman 0 because ito tayo so meron tayong 30,000 na decrease, 'di ba? Meron tayong 30,000 na decrease for for the year. Okay. But let's now proceed to cumulative cumulative gain or loss. For the cumulative gain or loss, dito, 0 gihapon. Wala na siya cumulative gain or loss. Okay? So, cumulative gain or loss. Okay. But dito, what will be a cumulative gain or loss? Last year, meron tayong 50. Ngayon, di ba, last year, meron kang less gain na 50. Tapos, nag-decrease ka ngayon ng 30. So, meaning, magkano cumulative? 20,000 na lang siya. That will be our cumulative gain or loss. I hope from it, you have understood how to get the cumulative gain or loss because that is a very common questions po natin when it comes to problems such as for auditing firms. Okay, so I hope that's clear. I hope it's very clear for every one of us. Okay. So, let's assume now, on March 31, the securities were sold for 140. So, anong gagawin natin? Okay, sige. So, I hope nasalta na ito ang subsequent measurement niya. Okay? So, for the period and as of the period. See, OCI lang merong as of the period or ang cumulative. Okay, for the disposal naman or kung magbebenta tayo, for FFB TPL, you just need to compare the proceeds and the carrying value. And the result will be your realized gain or loss on sale. Okay? The proceeds versus the carrying value, that will be the gain or loss. Okay, so let's go back muna sa exam before tayo pupunta sa OCI. Go back na tayo. So, nabenta ng 140. So, with debit cash for 140, magkano carry amount mo nga, latest carry amount mo? 120,000. Kaya may 120,000 ka dyan. Therefore, mayroon kang gain on sale na 20,000 human. Proceeds na 140. Ito po, 140 na proceeds. The carrying amount, the latest carrying amount, carrying amount last year, 120,000. 120,000. The difference will go to gain or loss. Human ang story of FBTPL. Very easy. Let's proceed to a much more complicated. No, hindi mo siya masyadong complicated. But a little, siguro, meron tayong certain thing, meron tayong certain rule to remember. So, before disposal, the financial asset is remeasured to its fair value with the gain or loss in OCI. So, ang gagawin muna, ang carrying amount niya, i-remeasure mo muna siya sa kanyang fair value. Or dapat yung carrying amount niya, i-remeasure mo siya sa kanyang price. So after mo ma-remeasure papunta sa price, the fair market value will be equal to the sales price. Nakag-remeasure man mo siya. And after that one, we sell it, no, without any gain or loss from disposal. Again na, so remember this one, remeasure, then sell. Again, remeasure, then sell. Remeasure, sell. Remeasure, then sell. Remeasure, then sell. Remeasure, sell. Again, that is only for OCI kasi pag PL, mag-ampo muna, PL mo gawa sa exam, kay walay kote. No? It's not that complicated for PL. But for OCI, you need to remember, remeasure, then sell. Remeasure, then sell. Remeasure, sell. Remeasure, sell. Okay, so let's try. Magkanong, but how much is our carry amount for FBFBT OCI last year? 120,000. Magkano ang kanyang karon ng selling price? 140. So from 120, we need first to nito, remeasure, then sell. So we need to remeasure from 120 to 140. It will become now, so the difference will be 20,000. So gagawin natin, FFBT OCI, alas gin OCI, 20,000. Okay? Remeasure, then sell. From this, si 120, lungaga ng 20, so meaning, ang value na karon is 140 na. So, pantay na karon si selling price og si unless gain or, mali. Pantay na karon si OCI og si FFBT OCI. So, mo siyang i-cancel. So, debit cash 140, kaya FFBT OCI 140,000. Okay, so remeasure, then sell. Ano yung ani man siya? Because sabi ng standard natin, no gain or loss on sale. Ano ka ba? No gain or loss on sale shall be recognized pag OCI po tayo. Remember that one again. No gain or loss on sale pag mag-FBFBT OCI. Teka, sa exam, tatanong, how much is the gain or loss from sale from FFBT OCI? Ang sagot dapat ninyo, 0. Because again, wala tayong gain or loss. So, sige, sa gagawin natin, ating i-remeasure. Then, before natin i-benta, remeasure it para magpantay ang kanyang carrying amount sa selling price. Then, after magpantay, you sell it. Debit the cash, the selling price, and credit the FFBT OCI for 140,000. Okay, so I hope that's clear. And last na to, any gain or loss, any unrealized holding gain or loss in the SHE may be transferred to RE. So, ang atong cumulative na to last is 20,000, di ba? Karon, 20,000, na naduwag na 20,000 karon. So, imong total yung unrealized gain or loss is 40,000. So, you transfer that one to your retained earnings. Okay? So, UGOCI 40,000, retained earnings 40,000. Okay. So, I hope that's clear sa atin, no? I hope that's clear sa atin. Okay, so let's go back to the material. You may pause the video. Pwede siya, balik ko man siguro, no? Ibalik ko ng video. DEF. Si impairment loss, remember this one, wala tayong impairment loss. Okay? Remember, walang impairment loss for investment in equity securities. No? Kasi pag magbaba or magtaas, it will just go to PL as under unrealized gain or loss. Or pupunta siya sa OCI under unrealized gain or loss. Pero hindi tayo gagamit ng impairment loss. Sir, mertang recovery ng impairment loss, wala gani impairment loss kung na mag-recover man ka. So wala siyang recovery of impairment loss. Okay? Impairment loss, wala. Recovery of impairment loss, wala rin. And reclassification is not allowed. Meaning, once na-elect mo siya as fair value through PL, always fair value through PL na siya. Once na-elect mo as OCI, always na siya at OCI. Bawal na siya mag-transfer into and out of the FFBT PL and FFBT OCI. So I hope that's clear sa ato ang tanan, and I hope after this, no, after listening and after watching this video, I hope na mo nasabtan. And if you have any question, please do not hesitate to email me or ask questions to send me message, no, for any queries that you have in mind. So I hope that you have learned something, and please utilize this material. This would really save you this material. We are done with the first part of the material. Meron pa tayong tatlong parts ng ating material, which will be your key for para mas mapadaling inyong buhay for an investment. So I hope it would help you. So please study, mag-study in town. So that will be all for this video. Thank you everyone, and stay safe and God bless.